The first thing I'm going to present to you is I'm going to talk about the toxic coworkers in a workplace. One of the first things I'm going to touch on is the boundary buster. That's a person that is kind of that invades your space. A person that talks too much, just always kind of annoying person, and that person can be it can be bad for an organization to have a person that's a boundary buster because they would often irritate each coworker until the coworker just don't want to be around them. The next thing person is an exploder. The exploder is a person that goes off all the time, goes off on the deep end, always yelling, and nobody wants to be yelled at. This type of behavior can negatively affect the job, especially at my organization. Um, the space invader. The space invader is a person that just kind of invades your space. You know, sometimes people want to be in their personal space, not have anybody around that gets too close to them or, comes to their cubicle or comes, directly talking in their face. I know I don't like that. The credit stealer, that's someone that is taking credit for something that they did not do. If a person in management steals an employee's idea to take the credit, it can cause the employee not to trust the boss or the organization, and it can cause the employee to not share the idea. One of the things that you can do if that happens, you can bring it up if somebody says something about, the idea. You can say, yeah, I presented to such and such, first, and they said that they liked the idea. That way you're kind of letting it be known that it was your idea. The saboteur, that's a person that sweet talks and, kind of stab you in the back. I think each organization have that. And those people can definitely negatively affect any organization or any place of work. I think the best thing to do with those people is kind of not trust them, not tell them, not talk to them so much to give them any information so where they can stab you in the back, and just pretty much stay away from a person like that. Empty pit. Empty pit is a person that comes to you with problem after problem. They're always friendly at first, but then they want you to solve their problems. That can be bad because for any organization, because it's almost like you're that person's therapist, or you have to figure out the person's problem when they need to be figuring out their own problem. I must say that in my organization, I have this one person that is a boundary buster, an exploder, a space invader, a saboteur, and empty pit. The first thing this person do, she invades my personal space all the time. She talks too much every day. She has a story for me, which I'm fine with that. I'm a very friendly person, but every single day is a story. She talks very close to me when she's talking, so I feel like, we're kissing almost because she's that close to my face. She's completely an exploder. If something don't goes her way, she just yells and she freaks out. One thing that I don't like that she does, if I'm eating something, she'll go and she'll take her fingers and she'll like stick her fingers in my food. I feel like that's invading my personal space and it drives me crazy. She doesn't steal any credit for anything, but she definitely sweet talk, and I'm sure she stabs me in the back all the time. Every single morning she comes in with a problem. One problem after another problem after another problem. And, I began at first to think that it was okay, but I figured that I'm getting paid, she's getting paid, and I have to do all of her work because she gets so wound up and explode that she's just like, oh, and this happened, and how do you do this? Or she'll just, tell you something, and next thing you know, I'm giving her advice and becomes her therapist and all kind of stuff. So this person is definitely toxic in my workplace, and I pretty much try to stay away from this person. I think the whole facility does, but I think that every organization have toxic people, and the best way to deal with the people is to try to overlook them. I'm in management, so I have a lot of employees that I feel like are toxic. You have backstabbers, you have people that explode, you have people that don't want to do work, you have complainers. So I am fairly new to the management team, but I am learning that sometimes I have to just ignore them, or I just have to call them out and say, hey, you don't want to be the negative Nancy in the group. You have to, if you don't want people to refer to you as the negative Nancy, you have to make sure that you are, not being so negative. And I don't say it in a bad way, but, I definitely want my organization, one of the things that we strive in is having excellent customer service. So if I have employees that are toxic, it can make the organization, kind of go down. And if one person is toxic and the next person, and it's just an unhappy facility. And I am enforcing a happy environment so my employees can be happy, and we can provide excellent customer service, and the customer can leave happy. That concludes my presentation.